Okay, welcome to Coach's Q&A with our special guest, Nicole Roberts-Jones. Thank you for joining us. We have a wonderful question, and the question came in from Benedict. Benedict writes, I have no idea what to do with my life. Everything costs money, and I have no job or even enough money to afford my living. I really want to get into acting. It's such a tough career break into, and there are no guarantees. I need a super kick in the butt because I'm almost 29 and going nowhere fast. How do I get motivated when I feel so stuck in a rut?
Good question. So, he reminds me actually of a coaching client that I had maybe about 10 years ago, and I'm going to say her name was Tracy, just so I won't tell her business, even though she doesn't mind. She loves when I tell her story. So, Tracy, when she came to me, was 35, and she had a job that she absolutely hated. So let me say, first things first, I love that you know you love acting. And you are right. Acting is not easy, but if it's really, really, really what you want to do, I'm going to give you 2 points. I mean, Tracy, I'm going to say her name. I just said it. Tracy's story to give you some idea of how this woman who was an executive assistant and was great at it, but hated it, but really wanted to be a dancer. So mind you, she had no dance training. She's 35, absolutely no dance training. So I told her to start with one dance class. Just start with one for fun. No strings attached. Don't worry about, what comes of it. So she took one, came back to our next session. I said, okay, so now do two. So over time, we talked about how it felt and how much she loved it. And because her teacher in her class saw how much she loved it, her teacher in her class asked her would she like to teach. So she said, okay. So then, we talked about what that might look like, becoming a dance teacher. So mind you, she kept her day job while she was building her dream. So then she became a dance teacher. So to make a really, really long story short, over the course of, I think it was only 2 years, this woman went from no dance training at 35 to becoming a dance teacher to then becoming a competitive dancer. Her teacher then said, hey, we have a dance team. So she won, I think it was in 2009, the best salsa dancer for this competition throughout the country. Right. Again, starting at 35. So first things first, I'm super excited that you know your dream. And you are right. You do need a job, which I call an investor. So we call it Motivating the Masses. You need a day job that will fuel your dream. So what could that look like for you? Now, I used to work in the entertainment industry, and the thing that I know a lot of actors did was they found jobs that, whether it's waiting tables or maybe working concierge or working at a hotel job where your hours might fluctuate so that if you get a call back for a audition, you could switch with someone at work. So first things first, let's get clear on what you really want. If you want to be an actor, don't give up. It is hard, but you've got to determine if you really, really want it, then be unapologetic about it and do whatever it takes. So find a daytime job for now that can fuel your dream. Okay, so that's one. Two, if you no longer want to be an actor anymore and you want to totally shift altogether, then what I recommend you do is take out a sheet of paper and write what you love to do. So for me, that'd be talking, right? One is I love to talk. Two is I love to serve people. So I did this about 15 years ago, I would say. And, I just told you my background is entertainment. My bachelor's degree is TV and film. So I worked in casting and I worked in production for about 8 years. And I started working with women and I loved it, but I didn't know what this was. So what I started to do, once I defined what it was I loved, which is working one-on-one, love to talk, love to serve people, I started looking in want ads to find out what kind of job that was. So I want you to start there. I suggest you start there. Just looking at want ads. First, really looking at the things that you really like to do. And if you're not sure what those are, ask a friend. Ask one of your friends, what are you really, really great at? Your friends usually know more about you than you think they do. So I would ask them, don't ask them what kind of job you should get. Ask them if they had to tell you 3 of your greatest skills, what would those be? And whatever's common to every friend, that's obviously what you're great at. So then find a job doing that. And how you do that is looking through those want ads. Luckily for you, you don't have to look through a paper like I did when I did this. You can do it on the internet. So just, go and Google, not Google, monster.com or even a newspaper, depending on what city you live in. They have the want ads in the newspapers online, and just type in keywords and they'll come up. So I would research that. But above all else, what happens to all of us is we become frustrated when we're reaching our dream. See, if dreams were easy to reach, everybody would be capturing their dream. So if you haven't made a vision board, I would suggest you do that. I suggest you make a vision board of all the things you want. So this is not just your career. This could also be around your health. This could also be around your finances and relationships, your spirituality. And really, I suggest you do that because when we all get frustrated, including me, including Tawana, what we do is we have to keep our vision in front of us. We have to be reminded on a daily basis. So I'll show you my vision board in a second. I'm going to run and go grab it and put it up to the camera, and it's right here in my office, literally. You have to be reminded every day, what is it that you want? Not your mom, your dad, your friend, your neighbor, your cousin, whoever. What is it that you want? And then every single solitary day, do something that puts you in action toward it. Sign up for an acting class. Get into an acting community so you're meeting the right people. You're doing the right things. Depending on the city you live in, if you live in Los Angeles or New York, then you're in the right place. And if you're not in one of those two cities and you really, really want to pursue acting, then what would it look like for you to move into a place where you could really develop your dream? If this is going to fit on the whole thing, I had to frame it. So literally, let me see if I can walk you through it. I have 4 quadrants on mine too. I'll lift it up so you can see the bottom 2 when I get there. So literally up here, it says things like, what kind of influence are you having? And you are powerful. So this was really around me growing my business and growing my speaking and coaching career. Then here I have partnership and so in love and a picture of my husband and I, which is really little right there. So that area there is really me and my relationship quadrant and wanting to make sure as I grow my business and my gift, that I make sure I grow my relationship too. Underneath that, you see me, this is a picture of me on top of a community of people. I did that here too, because again, my goal was to grow, lead, and succeed. Let's see what else is. She's Got Game and Oprah, the Oprah Winfrey Show, which obviously Oprah's not on anymore, but there's on still. Yeah. Then I have bookshelf here. So when I made this vision board, I hadn't written my book, and now I have 2 books out, right? And I add things to it as I see more and more things that I want. Then I have people on here like Beyonce and Oprah and TD Jakes, because these are all people that I will work with, planning that. And then here is my money quadrant, money and health. So I have Fit for Life and Best Life Diet. That kind of got cut off when I put it in this frame. Caring for mind, body, and spirit. You have something no one else can offer you. And then I have the Ladies of Trump, Work and Wealth. So again, I have every quadrant from some of my faith is here, and my money's here. My gift is kind of all over the place. I put it in every quadrant. My relationship. So again, what is it that you want? How do you find a way to remind yourself on a daily basis the things that you want in life? And then the second thing you could do around that same arena is I love affirmations. I love affirmations because we all have bad days, right? We have days where we get out of the bed and we just are not feeling like, we don't feel good. We just are having a bad day. And so when I'm feeling like that, I pull out affirmations that say to me things like, I will praise you for I'm beautifully and wonderfully made. That everything I've been through has prepared me for such a time as this. So really looking at what can you say, or what words can pull you out of that moment where you feel like I'll never make it. Because I guarantee you, every actor, whether it's Brad Pitt, George Clooney, whether it's Denzel Washington or Angela Bassett or whoever you may esteem as an actor, they all have been through that. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage you, if that's really, really what you desire, to not give up, to stick with it and do everything you can and everything it takes to fuel your dream.